I need to talk a little bit about Jose Mourinho. I found this quite astounding. So today was his 50th Premier League game in charge of Spurs. So, Bobby, I'm going to throw this to you at first. If we look back at his 51st league games at all his clubs, there's a massive drop in points tally. So at Porto, 124 points. Chelsea, his first spell, 126. Inter, where he won the treble, 113. Real Madrid, 123 points. Chelsea, his second spell, where he did win the league, let's not forget, 114. All triple figures. Then he got to Manchester United, and he did win some trophies there, and he got 95 points. With Spurs, after 50 games, there's a massive drop to 81. Do you think that maybe, just maybe, Jose Mourinho's best days are behind him?
I actually really like Jose Mourinho. I think he's a fantastic manager. I just think that Spurs' defence is nowhere near good enough. I think all of the teams that he's managed previously, all those teams that have had triple figure points in those 50 games, they've all had very good defences. And I just don't see Spurs, and I don't think Spurs have had a great defence for probably since Ledley King went, to be honest. I don't think there's been a back four there that I would look at and go, I don't fancy today.
Gary?
Well, are his best days behind him? Well, when David Moyes got the sack at Manchester United, I dare say a lot of people were saying, right, that's the end of David Moyes. Actually, when he went in at West Ham the first time round and ultimately got moved on, we're probably never going to see David Moyes again, are we? And look where David Moyes is now, sat in a Champions League spot with West Ham. No, Mourinho will stay in this game for many years, in my opinion. I still think he's hungry. I still think he's driven to succeed. And everyone at Spurs is hoping that the club that he's at the moment is going to be successful under him. If it's not and he moves on, I think he'll have success somewhere else.
But Gary, I do take your point about David Moyes and how he's revitalised his career, but the goals, the best days for David Moyes cannot compare to the best days for Jose Mourinho, winning European trophies with two separate clubs, winning trebles, winning La Liga titles, winning Premier League titles.
Yeah.
It's apples and oranges, really.
Sure. I understand exactly what you're saying, but it was a comparison that I could come up with on the spur of the moment. So we write off people, be them players, be them coaches, be them managers. We write them off all too quickly, in my opinion. Are Mourinho's best days behind him? Well, let's be honest, we do not know. My educated guess is that Mourinho will, as a football manager, win trophies in the future.
Do the best managers, historically speaking, Bobby, not just right now, are they able to reinvent themselves? I think of Sir Alex Ferguson, the longevity and the success that he had. He was able to reinvent his teams when the time was needed. Do you reckon Mourinho has it in him to reinvent how he plays football? Because he's being now truly eclipsed by someone like Pep Guardiola and the success that he's brought to the blue side of Manchester over the past 5 years.
Yeah, Pep has a very different philosophy on football to Mourinho, obviously. But Mourinho's tactics for many years have won him trophies. And I don't think he'll veer away from that. I just think it's personnel. I just think it's the current climate. I just think just there's one or two things that need to happen at Spurs itself, maybe behind the scenes as well. And it'll all fall into place. It is, though, whether the owners at Spurs will give him that time and give him the money he wants. But for me, Mourinho's a fantastic manager. And again, like Gary said, he will continue to win trophies in the future, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think sorry, Adam, I think the telltale sign here is earlier this week there was a quote from Mourinho talking about managers and coaches. And he said, basically, it's the players that win us our success, that get us the success. And I think that was him basically saying he needs better, more different players at Spurs. And the evidence of this season, to me, is exactly that. The Spurs squad however you might view it, is not quite good enough.
Could be an unhappy marriage as well, with reports coming out this week that Spurs can't afford to sack Jose Mourinho. They'll have to pay out around £30 million. And given that it's a COVID season, given that they have a stadium to pay for, that does all crop into the equation as well.